All right, welcome back. This is the CSS portion for Turner Painting, the project that I am currently working on. This is the Figma for it. So we're going to start with mobile first. And if you're noticing my CSS, it looks a little wacky. This will either blow your mind or completely piss you off. So the way I started liking to do work so I have all my sections lined up by the comments, so landing, services, etc., etc. And instead of having one long sheet of mobile, one long sheet of tablet, one long sheet of this, and you just have to scroll up and down for everything, every section has all of their media queries in a row. This might look stupid to you, but I mean, when you have I have a media query for mobile, min width 0, but this, I mean, it could be stupid, it could be not, but I like to do this because I like to minimize. It just looks better. It's easier to manage. Feel free to not do that if you don't want to, but I can get all of the views, at a glance. Tablet, small desktop, etc. So it's all right there for you, and it makes working a lot easier and a lot faster. This is just how I like to do things. So I have all the breakpoints here for, we got this range is for like horizontal, like landscape phones. Then we got tablets. And then there's the small desktop, which is 64 rem, which is also 1024 pixels. And then this is 48 rem. That's also going to be, 768 pixels for tablet. Because these guys, when you flip over the tablet for horizontal, it's 1024, especially iPad Pro, regular iPad, it's 1024. So you're going to want to target these, because if anybody turns your website on the side on a tablet and it's not ready for that, it'll probably come out janky. And there's also 13-inch MacBooks and other laptops that operate at this kind of range here. So we want to do a small desktop version and then a regular desktop version, where our containers are probably more of a classic 1200 pixel width. But yeah, this is just the start. So let's just do this. So my landing is pretty much done, as you know from my template that I have built. I have a course styles, which has all of the styles for the navigation and everything that we have here. And we got dark and light mode that's already enabled because of my dark CSS. I will also link at the bottom to go to my website, where I show you and I provide the code to add dark mode. You can add this toggle. It comes with it, with the JavaScript, and it comes right out the box. You just copy and paste this code, write your dark CSS like this, just do your styles, but add your dark mode to your classes and dark mode. Boom. So I'll have a link at the bottom for that, so you can check that out and get that on your site too. But all of this comes in my little template. So let's get started here. I undid this because I wanted to at least show you guys. I'm sure a lot of people have different ways of making buttons, so I want to show you how I make my buttons. So we are going to go to Core Styles, and I'm going to go to my button solid list right here for my buttons. So I had it color white just to show it for now, but I want it to be this. So let's see, our buttons, about 50 pixels high. We got an 8 pixel border radius. So what I like to do to get these started is I like to display block, because all of your A tags, they come already like a display inline. So you want to add display blocks so you can add line heights and stuff to it. So let's get index in here. Let's split down so that we have an eye on it up here. There we go, one line. So here's where we are, the A tag. We're just going to do this right now. Where we go? There it is, so display block. And then we're going to do margin auto, and that's going to center it. Button solid. Oh yeah, that's right. So right now it's a display block. It's centered horizontally, but we got this text in the middle. So what you do is you do text align center. There we go. And then we got to get rid of that underline with text decoration, none. Right. And we're going to do background. Let's go to our, cross that out. Let's go up to our variables. So this is I use CSS variables. You just do a root and then these dashes with a name, colon, and then the color you want. So I want to get this yellow right here, this F2. So wherever we use this variable, it'll be that color. So when we go down here, all we do to do a variable is var parentheses dash dash primary. And now that would be background yellow. So let's change this. What is this? This is yeah, that's black, right? So yeah, 0, 0, 0. So we'll just do 0, 0 because this is too low of a contrast. You see, it's 1.63. We want it to be at least 3 and above for accessibility. The background is just too bright to have white text. So that's why I opted to go for black. All right, and then this is just how I like to make my buttons. So instead of adding a height on it, I like to add a line height so that the text is also centered inside of it. We do line height 50 pixels. That just makes this a tab. It's like the content inside is 50 pixels high, and this text is centered. So yeah, we're getting a little remnants of the navigation here. I think there's a bug that I gotta fix, but so that's how we do that button. I kind of like it. I don't know if I like it full width or not. Let's do width 300. Let's see what that looks like. A little smaller. I want to do 250. Yeah, I think that'll do. Then we need a border radius. What is that? 8 pixels. And then, so this was font size 18 and Roboto. There you go. We got pop-ins in there for now. Font family. Let's see. Font family. Roboto, there it is. So I think that's done unless I have, do I have any bold on it? It's just regular. Okay, and that's a button. Now we do the hover state. What do I want it to do for hover? One of the things I like to do, because sometimes you can, I don't have like a good secondary color. Looks like we're using like blacks and stuff. So sometimes I like to just go to the Google color picker. I'll put that here, and then I'll just go down, directly down, so it's in the same like shade. Copy that. And then we do button solid hover. And just copy and paste that color. So you already got this cursor. And so we always put cursor pointer. I should probably do a big one on all buttons, but let's see. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is button solid. So let's do on all. Let's just do. Where's my A tag up here? So on all A's. Okay, I don't have one. So all A's. Cursor pointer on hover. happened to you? What happened to you? Well, let's just do back. Now, something happened between there and there that removed the color. Oh, I removed it from here. Nice, Ryan. All right. So we're just going to put all that back. I just got to grab that color again. There we go. Mistakes we all make sometimes. That feels better. So I don't like this spacing. So now we're going to go to style. And this is where we do our adjustments. So I want to do hero text, button solid. I want to make this a margin top. 30, 50, yeah. And I don't like how close this is to the top. So what is this? Hero text. Let's do 100. Let's see. Nah, that's too much. 50. Yeah, like right in the middle. I like that. That works for me. So right now, when I hover, it goes to transparent. That's just my default in this button solid hover. So we could do that, or we can do the darkened one. I actually kind of like it. We'll stick with my default. I think that's fine. But let's see. But I do kind of like that. Let's see what that looks like. Let's get rid of this. Let's see what that looks like when I do it. I think I'll stick with that. It kind of looks like it's like it'll feel like it's being pressed. Let's go to big. Yeah, it'll feel like it's being pressed. I think I want to add a transition though. So transition. Let's do just the standard 0.2 seconds ease. So we're going to put this on the hover state. That one. I got to clean this up a bit before I give it to you guys. So when you do a transition, you want to put it on the natural state and then the hover state. So it transitions to it and back to it. If you only put it on the hover, it will only transition to the hover. If you want it to transition back, you have to put it on the other one too. So that's what we're going to do there. So that way it feels a little better, not as abrupt. I kind of like that. That's not as distracting. So I'll go back to mobile. And always start on iPhone SE. It's 320 pixels wide. I bumped it up to 75. This will be like the smallest screen that you develop for. So I recommend starting here and then going bigger from there. But let's go down to our next service. Let's see. So out of landing. Now we're going to be in services mobile. Then we got after services we got painting. So I'm just going to get that one lined up. Copy and paste this really quick. Just so I have that ready to go. So I want this. This is what I want. I'm just trying to think how I want to, because I don't think it's going to transfer well if I try to do this. If I try to make like a circle to encompass this, I think it's too much. But that doesn't mean we can't have these guys. So I think maybe I put the little circle here and that little circle guy there. So let's try that. That's going to be our little circle. So actually, we're going to go back here. I want to finish this. So at the bottom, this is the last thing I want to do. Move this over a bit. I don't like how these are formatted. Yeah, it feels better. So at the bottom here, we're going to do a little circle. Let's see. I want to do a little circle. So first thing we want to do is if we're going to use a pseudo element, it's position relative. I want this to be a height of 100 pixels. Get over here. Width 100 pixels. Right away, we're going to do background of white. And then to make the circle, border radius 50%. This is living inside the hero section, so let me make sure that if I'm going to absolutely position this, hero should position relative on the container. So this is going to be position absolute. I want to have it on the bottom. We're going to go down. I want it to overlap the bottom, so I'm going to say down negative 40 pixels, and let's keep it on the left. Let's do left of negative 10. Let's just see what that looks like. And that should do it. Let's see, height width. Now I gotta do this. I'm gonna have to bring this up. We lost them. All right, let's see what we got here. So it's not. Oh, it's because I spelled it wrong. So I'm gonna spell these wrong too. And there you go. If something's wrong or something's not showing up, there we go. I didn't do it wrong. Just check your spelling. It's going to happen more than they think. So we got this guy here, but the problem, let's get rid of this. Maybe that's. Yeah, so I don't want that overlap to cover these guys. So one of two things can happen. I can either bring this section a Z index ahead of this, so maybe go to services and make it position relative, get a Z position of 100 so it goes above this, or I go up to my section ID and we do overflow hidden, and that will hide anything that overflows its boundaries. So when this thing is crossing its perimeter, I guess, the rest of it gets cut off. It's like it doesn't exist. It hides it from everything else. So I think that's how I want to handle it. I think I want it bigger. 150, 150. Maybe that's what I do. Let's bring it down a little bit. One of the ways I like to play with elements in the browser is I'll select it, and then we'll go in here. Make sure you get that cursor, and then use your arrow key up and down. You can move it up and down, so you can get it placed exactly where you want it. Let's see, I think I want to go a little more in. I don't want it to be too obvious. So yeah, bottom, negative 66. Left, 49, and there it is. So now let's do the other circle. Let's do an after. It's if it's before, like if it's to the left, before, to the right, after. That's just how I like to do things. So we're to the right, we're gonna do an after. Content, always have a content blank. We don't have anything in there. Position, absolute, and display block. I always put display block on all of my pseudo elements because sometimes they don't show up on Safari or something. It just causes issues for whatever reason. But display block seems to make things play nice in the browser. And I want background of white. Let's give it a height of 15 pixels, width 15 pixels. Again, border radius 50%. So let's give this a top value of, let's go up negative, 20. Let's just see where that lands us. And then a right negative 40. Let's see where that lands us. All right, so our little moon's out there. I don't like it's too far. Let's bring him home a little closer to home. So we're gonna go down. Let's see, that looks okay. Let's bring it left a little more. So that's what that would look like. I think I hate it. Bail? Yeah, I think I bail. But we already have this done. So we're gonna need it later on. I'm just gonna display none it, and it's gone. I tried it. I tried to see if I can make it work, but I didn't like it. So you're gonna run into that. And that's okay. It's okay to change your mind a couple times, but so we got these guys already basically done. We're just gonna leave that alone. I just don't think there's any way that we can transition this to mobile and it looks fine. We might start doing this on tablet. So let's go on to the next section then. So we're gonna do this services section right here. So what I want to do, this is what it looks like. All of my sections here, so you see there's no padding on top. What I like to do is I'll go up to my second, I'll go up to here, nice on top. Let's say, let's just say all section tags. Padding, 50 pixels, 0. Let me just see if that works. I have to do, yeah, there it goes. So all section tags will have a padding bottom and top of 50 pixels. And that's 50 is pretty good on mobile. I'll bump it up to 75 or 100 on tablet and then 100 to 120 on desktop. That way they have even spaces between all sections and I don't have to manually do it every time. So that's just a good way to keep pretty good consistent spacing on your site between your sections. You don't want them touching anywhere close to their edges. It just feels crowded. So I always advise at least a 50 pixel buffer on top and bottom of each section between them. Because you don't want to do margin. You don't want to push it and create white space. You want to push the insides and down. Because if you have sections that have different background colors, if you did a margin, it would just push the next section away from it, and the content would still be, hugging the top because the padding pushes it down from the inside. And that's why we use that. So we got that set. Now let's go into our services in mobile. So we're just going to define these because we're going to use these everywhere. So we're not going to scope them with an ID on it. So we're just going to do yellow span. So we want color at least is going to be var primary. And so it's got the color. What's the font size? It's going to be 18, and then this is going to be like 44. So, obviously we can't have this on mobile, so you got to just figure out. So it is bold. These are bolded. So just got to figure out a way to make it work on mobile. So instead, because this isn't too big. we're at, what's our font size on this? 0.9 em. I think that's small enough. So we want at least 1.5 em. I don't like that, so we're at 1.2. So whenever you have paragraphs and you have these H2s or headings above them, it's always a good rule of thumb to give them a font size of one. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the line height. A font size of 1.5 em. There it is, 1.5. So that's pretty good, but I think we need to go bigger. So this one's going to be bold. Okay, I think let's just see what order. Let's see what we got here. So main H2. I just want to see what it looks like. Damn it. Font size. Let's do 1.8 em. So I want to. This is the big focus. I don't want them to feel like this is just a. Like a passing heading. Like I want it to be big. I want people to see it. But if we do that, it's got to be consistent all the way through for these H2s. So let's see, 9. I think I like that. I don't. So it's centered here. So I think we can center it here. So text align. Let's just do it on the whole thing. ID services, text align center, and that should center everything. One line of code instead of 2. I'll take it. I like that spacing. That looks fine. You always want to give yourself a little buffer zone underneath your headings and your paragraphs. So this, let's see. So we got to worry about here. They're touching the edges. So what I want to do, geez, there we go. So in the services section, I want to put I want to also padding. So if we're going to be padding 50 pixels top and bottom, let's give them padding left and right of 10 pixels. So all of our sections will have padding left and right as bumpers. This is where, like, if you use the container, you would just put a 10 pixel bumper on your container, but we don't have containers, so we put them on our sections. And that keeps everything within that nice, nice little border there. We don't touch the screen, but we're also utilizing as much real estate as we can with it, so we're not wasting anything. So this section's good. Now we got to deal with the, all right, move this back. There you go. It feels weird to me. I got to have them all lined up. There we go. Life is good. So we're going to go to the cards. What do we got? So right off the bat, I want to get this. Let's see, group 94. Rectangle. Okay, this is group 23. This rectangle. There we go, drop shadow. I want to get this drop shadow. So let's see, blur. I think we go into inspect over here. And there it is. So we can already just copy some of these. So we're going to do services. Card. Pop these in there. Looks like width 274. That's great because that's less than our 320 pixel wide. So we can actually make this card as is without having to shrink it down or do anything. So we're going to do our width here. And then we're going to do our margin auto so it centers it. When we go here, we already got the basis of our card right here. Thanks, Figma. So now we need to do the padding on top and bottom. Actually, probably just the bottom. So how far is that? Looking at about 26, 27 pixels. 26, 26, 26. Let's just do 26 even. So padding of 0 on top, 26 pixels, 26 pixels, and 26 pixels. This is top, right, bottom, left. So when we do that, we got our space, except for the top, because that's where we're going to have our image. Let's see. So right away, let's get the text squared away. This H3. So we're going to do services, card H3. Now, I know writing regular CSS like this is probably a pain in the ass for some people, and it's probably a pain in the ass to watch too. But there's CSS preprocessors like Less and Sass out there. Highly recommend them. I'm just not using it because I couldn't figure out how to set it up. So I'm just going to do this right now. It's just how I've been doing things. So in the future, someday. Let's see. So this is, there it is. 20 pixels. Font weight 700. Set font size. 20 pixels. Font weight 700. Line height about 23. And let's do the, if we press Alt, we can get the pixel difference between it and the next element, so about 9. So let's do a 10, margin bottom of 10. So that's starting to look better. And then this text, so it's going to be, okay, font size at 16. So I guess I'll just change my font size up here. So if this is going to be 16, because I have it as 0.9 em, and it's based off the 16 pixels. So let's just, I mean, if I'm going to use 16 pixels, which is 1 em, I might as well just use it everywhere. So every P and LI, the line height 1.5 em is like the sweet spot for line height. That's what I like to use as my default. This one we got 28. So I think that's fine. I think I want to do 24 though. So we're going to go back to here. URP. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it at 1.5. So if I did 1.5, that would make it 24. So I'm just going to keep it that way. Let's see. So how does that look? I'm just doing my checks. So 16. Oh, it's still popping. I'm Roboto everywhere. So let's just go to our body. Well, we already had font size done up here. Or font. Let's see where I had you. I just want to copy and paste it. I don't like writing out the font family and all that. Okay, I guess I have to. So, oh, that's right. It's over here. Let's see if it poppins. So I got. There we go. We're gonna do this. We're just gonna get rid of this. Get rid of this. And on the body, we're just going to add Roboto. So everything, there we go, Roboto. I think that's my font for everything. So we got this pretty much figured out. There we go, that's it, the margin bottom. I got to get rid of, that's what that is. Margin bottom 0. So this looks about right. Now I want to get, I think I want to get this, this image right here. I want to grab that. So let me just check the images in Turner Painting. What do I have to work with here? Oh yeah, these are all just default. Sure. There we go. Now let me see what I got to work with. There it is. So let's just pick a random image. So the first one is going to be this little, okay, this guy. I'm going to use the tall boy, image 10. Let's see. So I got, I should probably bring this up here. So we got these images. So we're going to grab image 10. And let's see. So I'm going to do services. Let's do services.image. That should be enough. I don't want them to be too long. Services image. And what we're going to do is we're going to, let me find out how high is this. 123. Let's do, yeah, 123. Width, 100%. Height, 123 pixels. And then I go to my cheat sheet here because I hate repeating code. So I got this. This is for my setting something as a background image. We're going to copy and paste that and reformat. Come on, work with me. So I want to use image 10. So we do the background, we set it to a URL. And then for the background size, we want it to cover the entire div. And then the position, we want it to be in the center. And we do not want it to repeat. So you're going to be using these all the time. So I just copy and paste it. And I know there's a shorthand where you do it most of it in one line. Honestly, I just haven't taken the time to memorize it. That's on me. But so this is how I just copy and paste it. And so when we do this, we have our image here. So yeah, we're running into the problem because the padding is keeping it inside. So there's a couple options. I think I take the padding off of left and right on the card, and then on here, I'm just going to add it to the paragraph. 0 top and bottom, 26 pixels left and right, and I guess I'll add that to the H3 just in case they get too long and they gotta touch. So this, oh, 0, 0, 0. Why is there still a padding? Oh, Ryan. 0, 26. There you go. So that goes all the way. These still have their padding left and right there. So we still got that up there. But oh no, it's a corner. So border radius on the, okay, so it goes 1, 2, I think it's 3 and 4. I think it goes into a C. So I want to do top left corner 10 pixels, top right corner 10 pixels, and then 0, 0 for the rest. Let me make sure that, yeah, there it is. So we just make the image have the same border radius as its container, and that effectively fills up that area. So now we gotta have fun, and we gotta do this guy. So we gotta make him a position absolute so that he breaks the normal flow, and we can place him anywhere we want. First, I think I want to grab this. This is 57. So I want to make, I'm gonna put margin bottom 57, and then that'll push that down as much as it's needed to between here and here. That should push that down, and then we just gotta move this into place. So let's go services, and that is going to be our, that's our image. There we go, this guy. So that's our span. Okay, so I want to do, why did I do span? That's weird. Let's just do circle. I don't know why I did that. Who knows why we do the things we do when we do them. Probably got myself caught up talking about spans and divs. So circle seems more appropriate. So let's do circle. So we're going to try and make this. This is 21.68. Let's just call it, well, we got our back shadow. Let's take that. So dot services dot, yeah, what's going on here? Services dot circle. So we're going to do height and width of, that's weird, I don't know why it's that. We're just going to do 80 pixels. And with 80, background, we are white. And then we get our back shadow from Figma. And I think that's all we need to do on that. So now, what I like to do for positioning, especially for absolute, if I want this thing to be centered left and right, I mean, you could use Flexbox on its container, but I think that's a little, I don't think we need to use that right now. So what I like to do is when we make it position absolute, this little trick to center horizontally is pretty neat. We do negative, we do 50%. And then we transform it on the x-axis. We translate negative 50%. So it's basically being pushed 50% out and then coming in 50%. It has to do with its width. I guess I'm not smart enough to explain it very well, but that's it. And I want it to be, let's see, I should do Alt. It's 80 pixels away. So let's just see what 80 looks like. So from the top, go 80 pixels, and make sure my card is positioned. Yep, position relative. So every parent container of an absolutely positioned element needs to have relative, or else it'll just fly away. Relative keeps it in the box. It positions itself relative to its container. So let's just see what top 80 looks like. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, we forgot a border radius. 50%. So that's our circle. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So now we just got to fix that image. This image looks like they're 30 by 30. So we're going to do copy. We want the image inside the circle. And we're going to do display block, because, again, images are displayed inline by default, and inline elements don't take heights and widths. So we're going to do height 30, width 30, and it flies away, zoom, zoom. So on the circle, let's just do it the easy way, right? Display, flex, of, let's see, justify content, so left and right, center, align items, up and down, center, boom. So justify content is centering left and right, align items is centering up and down. So that there's really, I don't have any like, what's that? It's like a mnemonic. I don't have any mnemonic phrases that tells you what these do. You just got to get used to it and memorize it. But there's, I mean, that's the card. There it is. So now on these, we just got to give it a good old, on these cards, I like to do margin bottom. I like to give them 50 pixels. All my cards, it just looks the best. It's not too close and it's not too far. So that's kind of where we're at. And then for individual images, you would just target them individually. So, I mean, if we wanted to do the second one, I like to do nth of types. So there's going to be 2. Oh, yeah, card nth of type 2 dot image. So we're going to copy this. So this is taking the second type of the card. So it's a div. So it's the second div that is card. And it goes to its image div. And we're going to set its background to be, what is it? Okay, houses, interesting houses. Where's that at? I think it's going to be right there, image 8. We're going to use image 8. And there it is. So what I like to do is I'll set up a base image. And honestly, if we're going to try and do this right, we're going to put this after. So I like to start off with a base image just to get everybody, situated and it's working. And then I'll go through and I'll pick the card, wherever it lives. I'll pick the get out of here. I hate this. I'll hit the second type, the third type, and whatever it is I need to change, and then I just change it. So again, if I wanted to do number 3, copy and paste number 3, and that one's going to be kitchen. Which one's our kitchen? Is it this one? Yeah, get left mobile. So we're going to do get left mobile. And there it is. So that's just how I do things. I mean, you can do them individually if you want. You can give them individual classes. I just think it muddies up the HTML if you start using too many classes to identify too many things, when you can just use these neat little pseudo selectors to kind of pinpoint which ones you want while using the same class. So we got our cards. That looks good. And we got our buttons styled exactly the same way as this one. So that's good. So services, mobile, done. Oh boy, this one. So I gotta figure out what I want to do for this. How do I do this to myself? So I guess the first things first. If I'm coming down, so this is our image that we're gonna do and make it to a watermark. I think having all of these images right here, I think it's too much for mobile. I don't think we need it. So my idea would be, if I make this a display block and make them stack, I hide these other divs, make this display block with 100%. I just make this like a little block that just says free estimates. So I think I'm going to do that. So when transitioning from desktop to mobile, you have to think about what is the most important information to have and what is extra, what's too much, what makes scrolling a chore. And that's going to be images like this. I mean, we don't need all these images. We're going to have plenty in the portfolio. We have these. It's just strategically placing your images so that the website doesn't feel too long, like putting them inside content like this. So it's kind of part of it without taking up too much space on its own. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I am just going to move this to the bottom and take up the full width and just say free estimates, yay. Because that's a call, that's something we want people to know. We have free estimates, so I think we're going to keep that because that's an important piece of information. And we're just going to ditch these. That's how we're going to make it work on mobile. And then we'll bring this back and put them side by side, maybe on tablet or small desktop. So right away, let's zoom in. So let's get started. I'm going to get started on this first. And then I'm going to go to the watermark because I just want to get this placed first. And then once I have that looking the way I want, I can figure out how I want to position this. So we're just going to do, so we already have this done because of our CSS, because we have the same classes up here, yellow span main 2. So when we're down here, it's already done. Perfect. And we got the perfect margin on bottom. The text is already done. Look at that. Maybe 30% of the work's already done. So here's where we're going to have some fun, is making this work. So let's get this going, and then we'll move over here. So we got our UL. Let me first just close these. Copy and paste for our next section. What's our next section? Experience. I know it looks wacky right now because you've probably never seen anybody code like this before, and it probably feels messy. It just feels messy because I'm on a split screen on one monitor. But I work with 3 monitors, so when you have like a full monitor just for your HTML and your CSS, when you can scroll up and down on one full page, man, it is life-changing. So let's go here to, so let's close our services. Oh, that it's not closing. That's telling me that I'm missing a bracket. There we go. I don't know why this is formatting all weird, but who cares? It is what it is. There we go. It'll all get minified anyway. So there is our services section. Now onto our painting section, mobile. So let's target our UL. We're going to scroll down. So we want ID of painting. We want the UL, and then we want the LI. So the first thing, I want the UL LI, I want the H3. Let's get that styled first. Move. So this is going to be 20. Let me make sure that's already 20 before I do it again. And what's the deal? Oh, I see. It just went really long. There we go. So this is already, this is 18. So let's make this 20. So we got a margin bottom of 30, but it should be 12 with a line height of 23. So if we get a line height of 23 pixels plus that margin bottom of 12, that should equal that distance. And that looks pretty darn close. Okay. So again, these should be 16, 16. Okay, that's going to be good. So now let's do this. Let's get this sucker over here. So we're going to target the LI, and since we're targeting the LI, so we're going to go one behind. So I like to stack them. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what you want to do too. God, my formatting is off today. So LI, and then when you add to it is when you go H3. So this goes after. So we're at the LI. I want to get rid of the list style. None. We're not using that. So now that that's gone, what I need to do is we're going to do pseudo elements. So we're going to do position relative because we're going to absolutely position these things to the left of this H3. So let's see. Oh, no. We're going to do that because we're on the H3. So we're going to do here. And then we're going to take this again. Before, because it's going to the left. And then I got my little cheat sheet here for pseudo elements, so I don't have to keep typing all this crap again. So obviously content, we have no content, no text or nothing. Position absolute, we're going to place it outside of its normal order in the DOM. Display block, just because it makes things better for cross browsers. Height and width, this is where things are going to change. So, it looks pretty big up here. What are we at? 55, that's too big for mobile. So I want to make something maybe that's like 30. So we're going to do 30 pixels, 30 pixels. And then this background, again, we're going to use my cheat sheet for background images. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this little box, this pseudo box that's 30 wide and 30 tall, and we're going to make it background into the SVG, the gear SVG, and instead of cover, it's going to be contained, so that it is contained within the border, so it does not overlap at all. And position center, make sure it's in the center, and repeat. If it doesn't fit the entire box and there's some gaps, it does not repeat in like a tile. So this is how you do images on the as backgrounds on pseudo elements. I use these all the time. So let me just grab. I think it's I hate how they don't show you what it looks like. I think it's a gear. Let's see. Settings. I want to open it up in Chrome. That's it. Yeah, it's settings. Okay, so we're going to do settings.svg. And then, so we want it to, you can do flex, you can position it top and bottom center, but what I want to do is in case any of these ever go to 2 lines, I don't want it to be in the center of 2 lines. I still want it to be the center of the first line. So I'm just going to give it a top value of 0 and see where that goes. And then we'll adjust the top value to it looks center rather than trying to like actually make it center. So we position it from the top so that no matter what, no matter how long it gets, it's always positioned from the top instead of bottom, which means it would, if it was placed on the bottom and this was 2 lines, it would be placed 0 down here. So we're going to do top 0 left. We want it to go, let's say negative. So we're 30 wide, so at least 40 to the left. And I think that should do it. And there they are. It's like that. Actually, I think that looks fine. I think I want more space. So our UL has a padding of 40 pixels. So we're going to go up here. Since we're going another level up, we're going to place it above. Because UL, ULIs, we add more. So UL, I want to give it a padding left of 50. Okay, that pushes it more. And then I guess I can bring these guys out. I also want to make it, I just want to make sure this display block, just make sure it centers itself, margin auto. let's see. So this P up here, I think I want. Let's just do it in the UL margin top. So this is how many? Well, it's probably going to push up against that, so 50. So the reason I didn't add this margin, so like this is margin bottom 20, I didn't make this margin bottom 30 because it's just going to push through it anyway. You see the orange line? It just pushes through its margin. So whatever that margin is, it doesn't matter. This is pushing 50 away from the top. And that's about where I want it. So I'm going to push these gears over. Let's do 10 more. No, let's do a little bit less. So let's do 47. I think that looks good. But you see it's not exactly in the center. So I actually want to go, so negative goes up, positive goes down. So I want to bring it up. So negative, let's try -3. And that looks up, let's try 4. Oh, geez. -4 pixels. I think that's, no, let's go back to 3. So let me just show you, let's say this went for another couple lines, 5 extra words. You see how it stays at the top? So if I tried to position this to be in the center of the H3, then it would be actually down here in the middle between it. I don't want that, you know. I want to stay on the first line, and that's how we do that. So let's go ahead and remove this, and it stays right where it's at, right where it's put. So we got, and that's 69. But let's see, we're actually going to the top of this. That's 69. Let's just do 60. So every LI margin bottom 60 pixels. Let's see that spacing. That feels better. That might be too much. So while that might look good on desktop, that's a little too much on mobile. Not everything is going to transfer 100% to mobile. You're going to have to adjust everything, just based on spacing and the size of things. So yeah, this is it. This looks good. So now we're gonna tackle this guy. So class of Watermark, he's all the way at the top. We're gonna do him here. Watermark. What the heck is with my space? I don't know what's going on with my formatting. So we're going to position absolute. I just want to make sure our painting is position relative. So when we place it, it'll be within the painting section. So watch what happens. See, it floats. It's as if it doesn't exist, and that's what position absolute does. It basically, you know, it's there. It's like a ghost. It's haunting the other elements, floating around its home. They know it's there. They just can't feel it. That's position absolute. So this is just floating on top here, and what I'm going to do is, because it's on top of everybody, so we want to put a z-index of, let's try -1. Let's see if that's enough. And let's try 10. It should be behind everybody, but you can't tell because it's black on black. So what I'm going to do now, I think it's back in the, I think it was opacity 0.05, and right away it just disappears already. So we're going to make, let's bring it up a bit, top -50. Let's see, what do I want to do? So I could keep it center, but I don't like that's too busy. I don't want it to, so it's on the left in here. So do I want to put it left over here? So I'm wondering if that's crowding it too much. Let's just see what that looks like. Left, let's do -70 pixels. You also got to rotate it, transform, rotate. Let's do 20 degrees. Wrong way. Let's go the other way. We want it to point left. So if we go -70, let's try 100. I just don't see it's too busy under here. So I think what we need to do, because everything's left aligned up here, it's mobile, everything's crowded, it's not going to work over here. It's just not. So let's see what it looks like on the right. So on the right, it actually feels a little more balanced. I think I like that. Let's get a little more. Let's do some more on the top. That feels better because it has somewhere to live. It's not crowding everybody. I think I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. And what I want to do, so this is going to be a neat positioning trick that I'm going to show you. So when this screen gets bigger, let's go to a 6+. You'll notice that it's also going to go with the screen. So when this gets bigger, this is also going to go with it. I want it to stay in this position right here. I don't want it to keep going with the edge of the screen. So what do you do to fight that? One of the things that I've picked up along the way is so we're gonna do left 50%, and then we're gonna do margin left, and we're gonna do a negative or positive value. Negative will push it to the left. Positive will push it to the right. So let's do 100 pixels left. So that's left. Let's actually watermark. So you'll see from here. So we're at 100. I want it to go left. So I'm going to go down. And this is going to position it right about there. That's where I want. Margin left. Negative 18 pixels. So what's happening is I'm telling it to go left 50%, and it kind of hangs out over here because it has to do with its width. But what I'm doing with the margin left is from the center of the screen. So basically, it pushes it to the center. From center, do I go margin left negative to the left, or margin right positive, or margin left positive to the right? So what this does is it will always, no matter what the screen size is, it will position itself to the center, and then margin left will push it to the left or push it to the right of center. And that's how we keep these graphics where we want them when the screen is growing. So instead of absolutely positioning it to the right and then having it float away from you, you can do this little trick, left 50% and margin left, and you can place it exactly where you want based on the midpoint of the screen. So when I go to iPhone Plus, it's staying right there. Remember before it was over here because it was moving with the screen. It stayed exactly where I wanted it to stay. So that's a neat little positioning trick that I'm glad I got to show you guys on this one, because man, it helps a ton to be able to do that. There's a lot of neat little tricks, neat little things you can do with that trick. So now we got that placed. I like this. This is good balance. And when it was over here, it was just too crowded, too messy, and it distracted. What's the visual hierarchy? This heading is the most important thing on this page right now. This is what we want them to see. We don't want this to kind of crowd it and take away from it. We want this to be front and center. Anything that we have around it needs to be supplemental, like this little renovations. It's on top. It just creates a nice little color contrast. When we put this over here, it just kind of fills in the white space a little bit. And I like these watermark with logos. It also reinforces the brand. So this is why I put it over here as opposed to the left side where it's big and there's just a lot more white space, so it's not taking up as much attention. So that's why it's okay over here, because most of it is actually up here and covered by this this card. So that's why it's okay over here, because it's really just this little line, and that's not too distracting at all. So that's why it's okay. So now that we got, this is what we have so far. So you got the landing, which this is a standard landing right here. If you're ever wondering what the heck are you gonna make your landing page, this is it, man. Like, this is H1, optional H2. Your H1 is gonna have all your biggest keywords that you want to be ranked for. Your H2 is gonna have it's that extra information that you want to have picked up or describe what you do, and a call to action, 1 to 2 call to action. If you want one big one that you want, like the number one thing you want them to do, that's going to be your big bold color. If you have a second call to action, you don't want that to be competing with this one. That's where you make one that is transparent with a yellow border. That's what we do here. You take the primary color and then you make it to a border and give it a background of transparent. That creates a visual hierarchy that this is more important, and this is where people's attention goes to because the color's filled in, and that's what we want them to click on. But we also, sometimes we want them to go see something else, and that's what the second one is for, but it does not distract. It still keeps our main goal, our objective, which is now scheduling an appointment. So that's just landing page, mobile, I guess, 101 from me, the self-taught developer. So this is everywhere. Get used to this. And then this is where we are. So I don't like this. I don't like this. This is too, this spacing is off. We need more. So we're going to go, I think this is the cards. So this is services. So we're going to do services container. So we're going to go back into services. Let's see. So services cards. So this is where the container lives in the HTML, which is between, it lives between this content and this content. So that's why I put it here. That's services container. So I only want the container in this services. So margin top 50. And you're going to be seeing that a lot. 50 pixels. You want to maintain like design rules throughout your website. So you'll notice I do spacings of 50 pixels almost everywhere, and that kind of creates a uniform feel and layout and look, and it just looks right. It doesn't look like it's slapped together like some sections that are farther apart or closer together. It just creates a lot of disjointed design. So you'll notice that I just use the same on mobile. 50 pixels is a great spacer. That's what I use almost all the time. 50 up here, 50 up here, 50 right here. Just keep consistency. When you're designing a website, it's all about these little details and staying consistent in them. Don't venture too far away from them. Don't try to get too crazy, or else it's just going to look weird. So again, 50 pixels here. So we got, see, this is 50 and that's 50. We got our two sections that are white backgrounds, so it creates this 100 pixel gap, and that's okay because we have this graphic here that kind of allows us to break the rule because it kind of occupies this space, and it allows us to let this breathe a little more. So that's why it's okay to break the rule, because we got something here to make the exception. Otherwise, if we didn't have this here, there would be no logical reason for this to be 100 pixels away, and it would look weird. So either you remove a padding bottom from here or a padding top from here, or you add a visual interest to kind of fill the space and create an exception. So that's why we got that over there. And then when we scroll down, this is what we got. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I like it. I like the spacing. It feels even. It feels good. Now we're going to do, so yeah, there's this free estimates thing. So yeah, this is the one I've been not looking forward to. So this is our right section. So we're going to close, I'm going to close painting. or close services, and go to painting. So we're at the bottom here. We're gonna do painting, right? So what do I want to do? So I want to get rid of these because they will take up space. So grid right, that 1, comma, 2, 3, remove comma. Okay, and we're just going to do display none. We're not using it right now. So you see it created some space right here. So let me see. We got our free estimates. Where are you? Are you around here? Oh, that's right. I got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 4. Stupid. And just because I can't live with myself, I have to put it at the end. You know, I don't mind making these mistakes. It's, you know, I'm self-taught, and I know I'm not perfect, but you know, nobody's perfect, and I see a lot of videos, a lot. It just seems like these people know. It's like they practiced it before, and I want everyone to know that you're not going to get everything right the first time. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to double check and go back and make sure you didn't miss anything. Nothing happens perfectly the first try, and I want y'all to know that, because you'll find that pretty commonly on these videos, because I'm not preparing for these. I'm actually working right now, and I'm just talking this out as I work. So now that we got over that, let's figure out how we're going to make this. I want to make this like its own little section. So we got this right section. I think what I want to do is I'm going to make right. So I'm going to start with right. I want it to be a height of 250. We're going to have, we got this padding here. So I want this to break the padding. But I need the padding. So here's one of these puzzles that we have to solve. So we have padding around our section to keep these guys together, but this padding is preventing this inside section from going full width. So rather than getting really crazy and trying to add containers or fix this, my solution, pseudo elements. So let's just get this set up first. So I want to give this a background of primary. With 100%. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay, perfect. And we're going to do, I see you got this button. How's that a margin top? 50 pixels. So I want to get this centered now. So what how we're gonna do that is good old-fashioned flexbox. Let's just do some flexies. All right, display flex, and centering along the x-axis, and align items is centering along the x-axis. So that's in the center. And what I want, let's do painting right 1. And I want the I want the whole thing estimates. So it's all going to be a color of black. Right, we got that. We're going to do font size. How big is it over here? How big are you, big guy? Let's see. Can I use you? Font size 55. Let's see what that does. And then I also want its span to be display block and text transform uppercase. So there's that. Okay, great. Now let's just make this text align, center, font weight, bold. Are they both bold? Yeah, they're both bold. So I think there's somewhere span is on a font weight of light somewhere in the core styles. So font weight bold on the span. That'll fix that. So I think that looks fine. What's the line height? 64. Let's do line height. And that looks about right. So now that we got this little section here, what we can do, I'm wondering, do I want it to be just white or do I want it to have a background too? Because this, I don't like, we got yellow and yellow. So I want, maybe if we use a different brand color. I know we got this green, because I don't like, that's too much yellow, I feel like. So we got this, we got green and this blue. I wonder, I think I like blue. Let's find out. Is that my blue? Yeah. Let's try that. Let's try this. Background. That's going to be there. So then we're going to make this white, or we don't want hard white usually, or well, I'll show you. So we'll do white, right? And I think I'm gonna do it here too. So this, this white, it's like really harsh. So what I like to do is, you can either just use like an off gray, but what I like to do is add an opacity so that I can bring in some of the color from underneath. So I'll do like an opacity of 0.95. And you can see the difference between the top and the bottom because the bottom is misspelled. Estimates, is that it? I've been staring at this word so much I can't even tell anymore. But this is a lot brighter than this one. It's going to be it's going to kind of hurt your eyes a little bit more. So we're going to add this onto the span. And now it feels a little more subdued. It's not as, look at me. So I like that better. And this feels like a better transition. I didn't like the yellow on the yellow. It just seems too busy. I didn't like that at all. So now we're going to get into the neat little trick here. So we got our right, painting right. We're going to do a pseudo element. So position, relative, and we're going to take this, make a before, and then go to the cheat sheet. I just know where everything is in here. So we got, this is pretty much the standard setup. Our background is going to be this guy. I'm going to set our z index to -1 because I don't want it to be on top of the content. And what I find helps a lot is if you're going to set a z index on your before element or any elements inside of a container, on its container, give it a z index of 1. I don't know why, but it just seems to help everything, and it makes trying to align everything up and down the z-axis a lot easier. I'm sure there's a logical explanation for that, but yeah, you're not going to get it here. It's just, that's it. That's what I do when I work. It's z index 1 on the parent, and then z index -1 here. So where we're at, we're gonna ignore the width because we don't want it to be 100%. If it was 100%, it would just fill in this box already. We want it to go 10 pixels to the left and 10 pixels to the right. So we're gonna get rid of this width, And left, we're going to go -10 pixels. And then right, -10 pixels. And there you go. We solved that problem nice and easy. We didn't have to restructure any of our HTML. We got to keep it clean and simple. And we did it all just by using a pseudo element. So there's so many neat little ways to use these things. I wish I learned all the different ways to use them when I first started, because they would have made life so much easier for me. So you notice design-wise how that color transition feels a lot better as opposed to it being another yellow section. So that's another liberty we're taking going from desktop to mobile. Like look at this desktop version. This looks nothing like this, and that's okay because it didn't work for mobile. It wasn't very user-friendly. It was too bulky. It could make the design feel too long, and people might bounce because they're just tired of images. Get me to the meat of things. So we took what's important, simplified it, and gave it its own space to breathe. And that's what we did here. That's what you need to do for all your websites. It's okay. You're not going to get all of this. You're not going to fit it all into one little mobile website. That's just not going to happen. You have to figure out ways to stack, remove, and rearrange. And that's the creative liberty I took to go from desktop to mobile. Like I don't have a mobile version of this. Sometimes you're going to be asked at your job, like my job, I get desktop versions, and I decide what mobile looks like. So I have to also have a bit of an eye for design. I have to kind of have all these like cases taken into consideration. So it's important to get pretty comfortable at taking desktop designs that you make yourself and just extrapolate. I mean, you could build a mobile if you're the type of person that needs to plan it. Scooch this over and do a mobile screen and design that. But I don't like to. I mean, I kind of already have an idea when I'm looking at a website. I know exactly how I'm going to do it on mobile most of the time, except for when I get to these, and I just, it's a playground. I play and I figure out on the spot how I want to do it. So I just don't want to waste time making a mobile site when I can already kind of get 80% of it just by looking at it. Why waste my time when I can spend it coding? So, and then tablet is just the same thing as mobile, except it's just got more space to fit things. So now that we got this done, let's go. Actually, I want to check out down here. Let's see if it did it. No, it didn't do it. Oh, that's because I just did painting. So I want this to happen over there too. So split and split. Okay, so what I want to do instead, so this right, because I want it to happen. I want this to also happen on the other one. Because why do the same thing over and over again? I forgot that we did that. And that's okay. So we're going to go back and fix this. Free estimates, that's our second watermark. Oh boy. All right, let's see. Why is this not working? It's process. So this is construction. Split. This is right. Grid. Let's find out what's going on here. What are these things? What's going on? Lines? Oh, up here. Oh, free estimates. Oh, that's right. I already did it. I'm just staring at the same screen for so long. Okay, free estimates. Free estimates. What did it say over here? That would have helped a ton. 100% satisfaction. So, there we go. Now we can see the difference there. 100% satisfaction. Again, a repeated element. So we don't need to do that all over again. And the same thing here, actually, because I want this stuff. Where'd this stuff go, right? Oh, did I forget this span? Renovations. I did. So that goes there. So actually, everywhere that I have painting, I want to put split because I want both sections to have it. Because I'm not doing it again. There's no reason to. That's fine. No, that's not fine. There you go. So, oh, save. There we go. And now, see, now we have the section. And that's, let's see. So that's the start. Okay. And then we got our free estimates. This is the other section. And then this is that section. Perfect. So that's less work that we have to do. That's already done. Yeah, all right. So now we got this section in the middle. Where's our watermark at? Oh, it's below. There it is. Okay. Yeah, that's, I was wondering where that was. So now that we got those two done, let's work on this guy. So I'm thinking this little pill body. God, you know, I can just do a straight, you know, I could just fill this in, make it another box with an overlay and opacity. But I don't know, I feel like we're getting too boxy. But that is a pretty common mobile thing. Or, I mean, I can still, I can still keep the same, like, what do you call it? Spirit of it. I'm thinking I keep it. What if I make the pill, like the green overlay, it starts here, comes down, and does that little circle here, and it goes up. You know, like instead of it being sideways, we flip it up and make it tall. I think I like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that. So first, let's get these guys lined up. So obviously we got knowledge is power. So I'm just going to copy these guys for the next one. This is going to be experience. This is going to be construction. But since we don't need to do anything with that right now because we already did it, let's do the next one, which I think was process. And we'll see. Got it. All right. So we're gonna go. Let's see, construction experience. So I want this stuff to be centered. There you go. All right. So experience. What do I want to target? I want to do. Let's do everything. Text align center. Wow, that didn't work. Did I do right? Experience. Oh, that's right. Wrong media query. That's why I closed these. Boop. That feels better. Okay. So I got that. I think I want 10 years of experience. Yeah, I think that's as good as it gets. I'm going to want to remove this padding. I want to remove this padding. So I need to go to painting. that padding bottom because I'm going to come up from the top. I want it to attach. So if I want it to do that, I need to also remove this padding so that the div that I create, it can rest at the top. So I also want to do padding top 0. And then what we're going to do here, so we're going to do yellow span. We're going to target the yellow span in experience. And I want to give it a margin top of, you guessed it, 50 pixels. All right. Oh, and because it's a span, it is inline by nature. So I have to tell it display block. And that now it'll take margin. Where is this padding bottom coming from? I don't want that. Margin bottom 0. There, I get rid of that nonsense. Okay, so now I just gotta stack these guys. I gotta get the let's see. To make this look right, I gotta get the right icons. So I think that's gonna be rating. Let's try it. Source for the image slash images slash rating SVG. Just for the sake of time, so I don't have to keep finding them. I'll just do these at the end and when I'm not recording. I just want you guys to see them. Well, you're not going to see them, but yeah, you see them taking up space here. That's because we got to do something to them. So we're going to look at item. And we're going to do the image. The image inside the item. We want it to be with auto. Or no, what do we want? 60. And then height can be auto. So some of these are taller than the others, or they're wider than the others. If I just set it to width of 60 and height of auto, at least they'll all be the same width. And I don't care if they're different heights. And since it is an image, if we want to add any heights, widths, or margins, we have to set it to display block margin auto. Dang it. And that helps. See, there they are, right there, right? So 5.5. I got these guys. So item, I want number and text. So let's do item. I could probably just do span. I don't want to. Let's see, display block margin auto. So I don't want to have to do more than. There we go. Because I don't want to have to do, you know, item number, item text. That's just more CSS that you need. So now we got these guys lined up. I think we could do. Let's see if we can fit everybody. So the H3. So these guys, the numbers are 35 and bold. So now we're gonna do. And then these guys, the text, they're gonna be 20 and light. So there's no light option. 300 is light. 400 is normal. I think 5 is semi. 600 is medium. 700 is bold. So we're gonna do that. So we got those guys, and then line height. I think we have a line height here. 41. What's the line height on these? Let's just go ahead and give them a line height. 28. I just want to make sure these are spaced out right. It still looks like I need a little more, so I'm just going to give it a margin bottom. Let's just do a little bitty 5. That feels better. So now what I want to do, so I got them lined up. And this feels about right. Once I get the images in, then I can decide what I want to do. But let's see. So I want to take this pill. So I'm going to start styling this. And since this is at top, I'm just going to make this the top. Let's just do that pill. It's not the only one, so I don't need to add an identifier on it. Like an identifier meaning ID, so it basically scopes it to just this section. I'm just going to do pill. Let's see, position absolute. So we want it to break position and be underneath everybody. I want it to be height 100%. And let's see, let me see if background. Oh, right, first, what is the background? Looks like it's kitchen. Where's kitchen? Looks like it's this one, image 5. So we're gonna do my cheat sheet. Image 5, cover, center, no repeat, and then width 100%. Now I don't want it to get bigger, because if it gets any wider, it's just going to look awkward. I want it to keep that same pill shape. So I think at like 350 max width of 350. So we'll never get wider than 350 pixels. So we can keep that shape. And then I want to set margin. Well, it's absolute, so we can't use margin auto. So we have to center it, either with flex on the container, or since I don't want to deal with the container, left 50%, transform, translate X, negative 50%. That will center it without having to do a flex on the container and potentially messing things up with other people in the container. So this is just how I position absolute elements left and right, and the same thing top and bottom. It's top 50%, translate Y, negative 50. That's how you do horizontal. But I want this to be top 0. I want to hug up here, and then this pill. I actually want this. I want this green. So we will. In just a second here, we're going to grab this pseudo element for the background. This is my overlay. That pill before. Got these guys here. And then we're going to grab, get out of here. We're going to grab this for background. I just want to, I'm not going to do, let's see, top, left, height, width, so position, position absolute. You can also do that. As long as there's a position on here, that's fine. When you absolutely position something, it's got to have a position. It's not inherent, I guess. So position absolute, fixed, relative, doesn't matter. As long as it's got a position on it, you can absolutely position an element to it. So height, width, get rid of this opacity. Top and left. So let's just see what this looks like. We're going to save. I don't see it. Let's see where it's at. So it's, oh, I think we have, so it's floating around somewhere. I don't think experience has position relative on it. And there you go. That's a nice explanation of position relative. If it's not relative on its container, it floats all the way up. So now we got that. I don't like that. Let's do width. %. There you go. I want a border. Actually, I want a bigger border. Let's do 94. And then we're going to do we want the entire thing, z index of -1. Okay, so there's that. Do we have... Okay, we still got this padding top, or this margin, so it's pushing up 50 pixels. So rather than doing anything crazy, we're going to do top -50 pixels, and that fixes that. So then if we go to our, let's see if I can do it on the experience. No, I gotta individually do it. So here you got, I'm gonna do experience, main H2, so yellow span, here we go. That's why we do the identifier. So all of them have the same color, except we want experience as main H2 to be white. And we're going to do that for the number and the text. Now this looks pretty messy. I don't like this, so let's do our item and margin bottom 50 pixels. Already looks much better. This one, margin 2, main 2, let's do margin bottom. You guessed it, 50 pixels. It just, when you have that even pixel, it just looks better. Looks like they belong. There's that 50 up. So we got 50 here, 50 here, 50 here. Let's see what's the spread on these guys. 13 pixels, and then, okay, so 13 pixels from the image. Let's do margin bottom. Does that look like enough? I don't like it. I think we could do more. I mean, you don't have to go exact to your design. Sometimes you make audibles. So this is going to be 18. I need to spread that. I need to spread that. This doesn't look even from the image. From the image to the number, from here to there should be the same. So I got to increase the number margin bottom. Let's do it by 10, by 5, and that looks a little more even. That looks better. And what's the font? Yeah, I think I already did the font guy. So yeah, that's what these look like. So now I got to do the border radius. I think actually be easier if I just did width. I just made 300. Okay, 300. There we go. Get rid of max width, because then it's easier to calculate border radius off of 300. So border radius. So top is 0, right is 0. So this is going to be 150, 150. So 0 top left, 0 top right, 150 pixels bottom right, 150 pixels, bottom left. So there's that. So let's do the same thing for the pseudo. And that creates that. But I want more space down here because this is too close. When you got these curves here, it doesn't feel as much as this. So what I want to do is experience padding bottom. Let's try 100. There we go. We want to make sure everything has enough space, and if it feels too close, it probably is. So this definitely needed this space. Otherwise, it didn't look right. So we got this. Let's see if I made this. I don't know. Should I make this thinner? Well, it's going to look thinner on big. This is on iPhone 5, so or 5S. So on big guy, yeah. I think I'm just going to have to do a media query for big guys. Why are you this way? Oh, that's because it spreads out. On small screens, it's this, but on big screens, it turns to this. Let's try this. Let me see if this works. There we go. So let's try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I just want to see. Yeah, that's fucked up. Okay, so let's see if that works. Yep, that works better when we use view widths. Oh, but on the before, we want it to be 100%. Okay, so now this is a little more responsive. So that works. Still, I'm wondering if that's too. I think that's fine. So we got this. This is this is a little interesting, right? It's not typical. It kind of still stays true to the main design here, but instead we flipped it, and I think it works. I think it's interesting. It's a little different, and I like this curve at the bottom. So yeah, I'm just worried. Let's see. I wonder if this is too much space. This looks like too much space, or that's. Yeah, let's try and fix that. So the way we're gonna, because we need this padding on bottom to push this up. So we're gonna take away padding from construction. On mobile. Let's just do 30 pixels instead of 50. Let me see if that works. If I can spell it right. So there, that's 30 top. That feels yeah, that feels better. I just felt like there's too much of a gap there. So I just narrowed that down a little bit. So now we got construction, 100% satisfaction. That brings us all the way down to 4 steps. And let's see. So it's now 6:39 my time. I think this is where I'm going to take a break. But we got, let's take a look. Let's recap what we got so far. Always go up and down, check out your site, see what you got. So we're on 5SE, right? And this is what we look like. I like it. This feels good. I like this. Yeah, okay. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. So then we go back to this. 100% satisfaction. And then we go into this, which I don't think we're going to need, but I'm going to take a little break, and then we'll get started on the next video.